Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are as always your hosts Arne and Carlos, and there's a Freya somewhere.
Yes, so Freya jumping around. She's been playing with a ball, so she's a little bit cray-cray right now. We've asked her to calm her down. Let's see if that happens.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
No.
Anyway, we're back here again with a new video. And this week we thought we'd actually do a show and tell. And what we want to show you is this book called ARNE CARLOS, and then it says Masker och snitt från Tonsåsen, which actually means stitches and
snitt
cuts. I mean, it's stitches obviously related to knitting and cuts related to cutting fabric.
Sewing.
So knitting and sewing from Tonsåsen. Tonsåsen is the name of the place where we live. So this is a book that was made about us. It was made in 2007, and you can see us here in the back of the book, looking very, very mysterious and very, very young. So this is a while ago.
That's a problem when you put your picture on books.
That's a very big problem.
You can easily see how
old
you're getting.
Yeah. And today we're going to reminisce. We're going to look a little bit into this book and talk about some facts about us that you may not know and that haven't actually been a topic in any Q&A yet. And unfortunately, this book is only available in Norway in Norwegian language, and we seriously doubt that it will ever be translated into another language for many, many reasons, but maybe the biggest reason why it won't be translated is because there are no knitting patterns in this book. It's actually a book about Arne and me. That was published when we had our 5th anniversary as Arne and Carlos. But let's have a look and go down memory lane and reminisce and show you a little bit about this book and what we were back
So this
then.
is from the time when knitting was our hobby.
Exactly. This is from the time when knitting was a hobby. But actually we had done the collection for the Arts and Crafts Association.
It was when we lost our hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here we are. Posing for a photograph out in the garden. The garden was already very central in our work already back then. And here we are wearing our knitted polo shirts.
Those were made in Italy.
Yep.
And the inspiration was
Traditional
Norwegian knit.
Yeah. And these were machine knitted, designed by us and machine knitted. Yeah.
That's from one of the collections. And the skirt was inspired of the folk costume, the men's folk costume, a jacket, and the sweater was made in knitted fabric.
Fabric, yeah.
But we played with the volume, so it was really fun to make.
Mm-hmm. Let's just go. I don't think we can go through every single photograph, but we'll do a few. Here we have a picture of our train station, the house where we live and work. This one is shaped as a t-shirt. And as you're maybe noticing on the photograph, the house is red. This is before we reclad the house with the
pine wood?
The very slow-growing Norwegian pine wood that we have now. And the reason is because of the wind here. That really ruins the paint in like 5 years' time. So instead of repainting, every 5 years we decided to reclad the house.
We don't like to be up in the ladder
Yeah.
painting. It's boring. So that's from our studio.
Photo of Arne in the studio, photo of us in Copenhagen, very flashy, very modern. Then of course we have a series of collages, and there's a lot of history about us. And this is my part of the collage, which is inspired by South America, I suppose.
That's from the fashion, when we work in the fashion industry. So
Yeah,
we
the
were
trade show
in the trade show in Copenhagen.
Yes. Yeah.
Some old knitwear.
Some old knitwear. So yeah, and here is a scene that you may recognize. We've done this very recently. This is our cozy nook in one of our rooms upstairs, and we have the painting or the images of our King Håkon and Queen Maud of Norway. They were our current king's grandparents, and then we've got all the cushions that we've done ourselves that we showed in a video tutorial.
So those cushions and that picture has been in that room for 10 years?
12
years now?
13, no, 12 years.
12
yes.
years.
Here is a chandelier that we did. I think we've done a video tutorial on
we did.
similar chandelier.
I think it's the same one.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff from our previous life.
This
Just a
is
fashion
sketch
figurine made by Arne.
with the flowers, which is inspired of the
porcelain.
Grindley porcelain.
So it shows a little bit how we work. Then we are in the garden, enjoying some time in the garden, which is always nice. This is when we had a very low fence and we spoke to the neighbors. Well, not the neighbors, because our neighbors don't live very close to here.
No,
but people
it's a
could come and
friend
then
who
we
came
can
by.
talk to them over the fence. That's before we made the fence into a wall.
Yeah.
And became a sanctuary of some sort. Love for Dolly Parton. This is Dolly Parton collage that we've done. This is from a collection we did inspired by Dolly Parton.
And we took all the pictures in camping places. This is a picture inspired of people we meet, because we meet a lot of people who inspires us. So this is actually not the person, but it's inspired of a person we know.
Yeah.
That picture is taken in the house.
This
from
is in the house.
one of the
yeah.
collections.
Winter 2007, I think. It was the last collection we did of sewing, sewed things before we went on to what we do now. Loads of pictures of things that inspire us, like the golden age of skiing, as we love calling these kind of imagery and cartoons and drawings from people skiing in Norway. This is from the 50s and the 60s. We love the 50s and the 60s, as you can see on this photograph. This is a a design that we've made and a drawing that we've made.
This is when we started blogging the first time in 2005. We made a blog where we posted a picture every day.
A new drawing
every day. And I think we did it for like 2 or 3 weeks and then we gave up.
Yeah. And then Arne's mom is represented here as well. She looked very pretty. In that photo. It's on the 50s, right?
That's probably from the 50s, yeah.
Then we have a lot of the work that we do in our scrapbooks, as we used to call them. Nowadays, we know that they're not scrapbooks, they're art journals, because apparently we're artists, so we don't do scrap, we do journals. Although for me, a scrapbook or an art journal is kind of the same
thing.
Concept, that you make collage, you make decoupage, you collect things. It can be garbage even from the streets, which is, I mean, why not call it a scrapbook?
When we worked in the fashion business, we did a lot of these collages because we found shapes and color combinations from the collages.
We've got our books, of course, in the book. We eventually made a whole book on the book, which was the favorite idea. No, sorry, the Make Your Own Idea book that we did a few years ago, showing how to actually make and bind your own journals. This is more artwork. This is our obsession with climate change and global warming, and what would happen if suddenly human beings would suddenly become mutant with some sort of an insect, and this is how we look.
So this is the insect people. I think we made those in 2002,
these are
maybe?
I think these are actually the drawings are before I met you. You made them before I met you. But
no, I think I made them the first summer we lived there.
Okay, but the collages I made together with you.
Yeah.
So I think it's before and after.
Before and after.
Yeah. But they're really cool. They're really cool. We have them in really big frames.
Still very, what you call it, aktuelt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, knitting bugs and insects. We're very inspired by insects.
This insect is something we made inspired of an old insect.
Yeah, this is the old.
That's the old insect.
And the new one is here and here. Yeah. So there's a lot of inspiring stuff. This is a visit to a carpentry store or shop, a workshop where they make kitchens, and we photographed some of the designs on the carpenters that were working there.
And then at that time, people told us, other people in the fashion industry told us that we shouldn't put clothes on normal people, but we did, and I think that's also one of the reasons why Comme des Garçons contacted us, because they saw the pictures. And we also went to see people. Yeah,
this is a lovely lady that taught us to spin. She was a really good spinner. She made beautiful stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff here. This is our favorite jacket. It's called the Blåfjell.
I think we showed it.
Yeah, it's called Blåfjell in Norwegian. It's Blue Mountain in English. And this is a jacket that was designed in 1956 by Sandnes Yarn in Norway. And Arne's grandmother knitted it, and we have saved it. We have shown it in one of our archive videos. And of course the drawing of Arne's grandma that you made and that we've also shown in a Q&A at some point. Your wonderful father wearing a sweater that you knitted for him in the 80s.
But this is an old pattern from the 50s or 60s. I don't remember the name, but we have the pattern somewhere. But you know, it's made in the early 90s, so it was purple.
And Arne's dad is a horse man, a horse person. So he's had horses all his life. And this is a Norwegian Fjording. That's the name of the breed of the horse. It's a Norwegian horse, very strong, powerful work horse. Very, very beautiful.
I think you can see them like in Denmark and in America and the Netherlands maybe. They're popular. That's your mother.
Yeah, then we come to my story, and this is my beautiful mother. My mother is from Spain. And her name is Carmen, in case I've never said that before. She was a knitter as well. She's still alive, but she's not that much of a knitter now. She likes solving Sudoku, which I think is very good for your brain when you get that old. So she's really, really working hard on keeping her numbers and everything in order in her head. She can't knit anymore. I think she's got some arthritis. But she was a great knitter back in the 70s and the 80s when knitting was popular. But actually, my dad, this is what we're coming to now, my dad and his brother, his little brother, they had a career in knitting too. So knitting definitely is in my blood, whatever you may think of me and what I do. But here's my dad. And he is modeling a cardigan. And then next to him, the picture on the other side, this is his younger brother, my uncle. And these photographs were taken in the early 1950s. And my grandmother, my Swedish grandmother, so my dad's mother, she was the editor-in-chief of a huge Swedish magazine called Hemmets Journal. I think it still exists today. It's a magazine for the home. Hemmets Journal means home magazine. And it has everything. It has recipes for food. It's got knitting patterns. It's got stories from real life, all these kinds of things. And it's huge. It's a really big magazine. And my mother and my grandmother was the editor-in-chief of this magazine for as long as I can remember. I think that was her career throughout all those years.
When we go to Sweden to like secondhand stores and flea markets, we always look for those magazines.
Yeah, we do.
Because
they were edited by her.
Maybe there's more pictures of your father and uncles.
I'm sure they are, because my grandmother probably just realized that having 3 kids, she had 3 kids as well as a full-time job. So having these 3 kids in these ages, there's a big age gap between my dad and his older brother and his younger brother. So she had them all in different ages, and she could get them into the magazine, modeling all the latest knitwear fashion.
That doesn't sound nice.
What do you mean?
Is that child labor?
Child labor? Yeah, but come on, how bad can it be? You put on a piece of something, they photograph you for 20 minutes. It's not real child labor. And I actually want to point my finger at this lovely little short.
That's so nice.
This short is amazing. It's even got, I think it's got pearl stitches going down. It suddenly have these pearl stitches going down
them sharp.
to make them look really sharp, like they've been pressed. Really, really amazing. I think we should design a pair of shorts for kids inspired by my uncle's shorts that he's wearing in this magazine. I think they would be a smashing hit. Don't you agree? If you agree, put it in the comments field. And if you don't agree, tell us you don't agree.
And Carlos will wear them.
I will not wear them. And then we have this other very lovely lady who knitted for charity.
She made, what do you call that again? It's slippers for kids in Eastern Europe.
Slippers for kids in Romania. And then we had another friend who was a little bit... how to say this? She had a very hard time in that part of her life. She really hit a bad moment in her life, and she loved knitting. And we tried helping her and gave her a little, job that she could make clothes for this doll that we'd sewn and designed. But she kind of misunderstood it, and she thought we were going to need so many different clothes that she outsourced the whole thing to this other lady who called us, and she wasn't very happy. She called us asking where her money was. And apparently our friend had promised her all this money to knit all this doll's clothing without asking us. And I mean, and it was a really bad time for this poor soul. We really felt very sorry for her.
But we have a lot of clothes for
yeah, anyway,
gold.
we ended up paying her whatever she demanded because we hadn't done the deal. We paid her and we got all the clothes and we got to keep the clothes. And then we said, but can we please publish it in the book? And will you please be in our book? And of course she said, of course I'll be in your book. And here she is. And I don't think we ever told our friend about this episode.
No, we didn't.
We never told her that we had actually bought the clothes. It wasn't like we called her and said, hey, what's going on? Because she was really hard up at the time. It was a very bad time for her, and we really had to help her in any way we could. Then we reached a very interesting part of the book. It's all about creating a sweater, and I wanted to show you these because this is very interesting. This is the patchwork sweater that we have designed and made and shown in one of our archive videos. And we used it a lot to try to get new volumes, draping it, turning it upside down, buttoning it in different ways. And here you could see 4 different examples of what you can do when you start draping a cardigan, because it's a man's cardigan, it's oversized. This is a woman's bust. You have more fabric to play around with. And you can just start putting it on the mannequin and trying to find new shapes, something very interesting and very modern. And this is a great way to work for Arne and I when we wish to create volume. So it's not always about color work or a pattern that is on a sweater. When we do women's wear, we can really play with volume, which we can't really do with men.
No.
But and then you can do all these really amazing things just with a simple cardigan. And then if you like something, what you need to do is try to recreate it.
And sometimes it's actually easier, like if you do some draping on the dummy, it's easier, or it's kind of quicker to get to a volume. Because some of these volumes is really hard to figure out on paper.
Yeah, very hard. You need to work.
You need actually to do something
in 3D.
In 3D to see how it looks in real, and then you can make a drawing. But some of these they came out a little bit too difficult, so it's hard to do the gradings because we had to do different sizes.
But the photos are fabulous.
But it's nice.
Yeah. And then we have our lovely niece, Madison. She is my sister's daughter, and she lives in America. I have a sister who lives in Texas with her family. She's married to an American guy. So my niece and my nephew, they are half American. And here you can see Madison playing with, she's fishing, and next to her is our old dog, Lyda. Who passed away in 2011. She was a border collie, a very lovely dog, just as Freya is, but completely different. Lovely dog as Freya, but totally different dog. And then we have the first collection for the Norwegian Arts and Crafts Association that we did. However, the patterns are not in the book. They're just featured in images. We've got the poncho sweater, which I've heard is a swancho.
Swancho? I don't know.
Or a poeter, maybe? A poeter?
Well, we made it
swancho.
as like, we made it so you could use it the other way also.
Yeah, this one can be reversed, so you can wear it both ways.
So it's inspired of the cardigan that we draped on the dummy, because when you put it on the other way, you get a totally different volume.
And we made a similar one, but in a normal volume for Rowan. It's called Gry, and it's in the new Nordic book that we did last year, which has got the same hulling board, the hulling pattern across the chest.
Like a really old traditional pattern from Norway.
Yeah. Then this is probably the best seller, the most popular, and it still is. So it's ribbed up to the chest, and then we have the pattern that is a traditional Norwegian kind of selbu pattern. This one has been knitted for quite some time. I've actually heard Annemor Sundbø, our friend and fellow knitter and expert, I actually heard her say that even in Napoleon's days, this was knitted as socks. So it's a very, very old pattern. You've got the other sweater, which has the braid or the cable that goes around the arms over over the shoulders and on the other side. Very complex to knit because you need to knit the cable first, and then you have to add the body on both sides. So.
But I think the black and white one was showed in the knitting program. On
Yeah, the black and white
Slow
one is
TV.
featured in the Slow TV, the 24 hours knitting show that is available on Netflix. And actually, now that you say it, that's where Annemor said it.
Yeah.
That this is actually from Napoleon. The days.
It's the 8 rose. It's
Yeah.
really old.
And then a funny Christmas sweater with a funny reindeer or funny reindeer, they're kind of psychedelic. I suppose, I don't know what happened, but maybe we had a glass of wine too many and started
I
seeing
think it's
double.
because we were in the fashion business and all our drawings had long legs.
Yeah, probably.
So it's
A nice
fashion range.
A nice cowl. You've got a poncho. This is a dress, but it's actually also reversible, so you can wear it both ways. If you wear it the other way, it becomes a sweater with a very cool
That's more like
collar.
the first picture we showed you.
Yeah, scarf. And this is our Norwegian niece, Agnete. She was about 4 years old when we took this photograph. She is a beautiful 15, soon going on 16-year-old or year-young woman. And she is the most adorable creature there is. I love her. And look at that
And
lovely
she's posing
photograph.
in front of a door on one of the houses on the farm where I came from. So this is a really old door with not rose painting. It's a different kind of painting.
It's actually painting to emulate marble.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And she's so cute, and she's so adorable, and she fit so well these pieces that we had knitted that are inspired by the ocean, by coral. And here you can also see a few images. And this is also a great way sometimes to work. If you just grab a photograph of a fashion model wearing a sweater, and then you can design your sweater on top of the sweater.
Sketch on top of a picture.
Yeah, if it's a basic sweater, it needs to be a white sweater, I'd say.
That's easier. Or
It's
you can use
easier.
a contrast color.
And then you can just sketch on top of it the way we do
But
here.
if you don't know how to make a drawing, you can sketch on the
Yeah.
picture.
What else have we got? More inspiration, lots of inspiration.
And the Barbie collection.
and then we have a whole Barbie collection. We started out doing a lot of miniatures when we were in the fashion industry, and we made them for Barbie. And then whatever we liked, we made into human sizes. And also we knitted for Barbie as well. So here's a few designs that we've done for Barbie.
These are
that are really
crochet
cool.
skirts.
Crocheted skirts and
or
then knitted
both
tops,
knitted tops.
with very cool volumes. An evening gown for Barbie, because every Barbie needs an evening gown. And then a very beautiful fall ensemble with a sweater with a very big collar. In fact, this sweater is the reversible sweater that we saw earlier, the one that you could reverse that had the big collar on the other side. So we actually made this into a Barbie sweater. And then there's more artwork. This is way in the beginning of our career.
The
This
third
is
collection, I think.
our third collection, which was inspired by origami and paper folding. As you can see on this side of the book, there's a lot of ideas. It started out as paper folding, and then we went into napkin folding, and then we started creating all these really cool fabrics inspired by the folding. This is a very cute dress from that collection, which is a little kind of 60s A-line dress. And then we've actually appliqued these little fortune tellers that you fold onto the fabric in the same fabric to create some depth and some 3D and some structure.
That was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work to create this kind of work. And actually it was a lot of work, and we got a lot of awards for this. Among other things, this year we actually received the Designer of the Year medal from the most important Norwegian women's magazine at the time, called Henne. And we ended up in the Museum of Decorative Arts with pieces from this collection, as well as on the cover of a very important trend magazine in Paris. So it's a very this was really a big moment in our career. And it's a very beautiful photograph. I love it. It's so playful. There's a lot of nice things. This is about...
Just show a little bit about how we do fashion drawings,
Yes.
how you can work from a picture and you can build up the body and then you dress the body. Or you put on skin and then you dress it. So this is how we
This is
do...
the final result when you do all the finishing
how
touches.
you make knitting, how you draw
How you draw knitting, yes. So there's a lot of ideas here. There's a lot of history here. This is also from the Origami collection. This is actually the photograph that ended up on the cover of Textile Review, which kind of made us become very established in the fashion industry back in the day. Another great poncho, sweater, swancho.
Swancho. We
Yeah,
had a lot of swanchos once,
we did, yes.
so you can put them anyway.
And here are the finishing, the last chapter of the book. Barbie having a little wardrobe malfunction, I suppose.
She's, what's it called it when you're sagging?
Yeah, she's got a sagging skirt, so she's showing a bit of her cleavage.
It's like my father.
Yeah, and sometimes me.
They're all sagging sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
It happens even in the best families.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the book that we did. What was it called again? Masker och snitt från Tonsåsen. So knitting and sewing from Tonsåsen. Unfortunately, it's not available in any other language than Norwegian.
But you can look at the picture if you get it.
You can enjoy the pictures. It is available through the Norwegian Arts and Crafts Association, who published this. And actually, three years after they published this book, they decided to give us a beautiful gold medal. Remember?
We were like, there's not so many people who have got it, but we have it.
Yeah, we received
the gold.
Yeah, the gold medal and
medal.
diploma from the Norwegian Arts and Crafts Association. And,
Because of the way we worked with knitwear and sewing and how we showed Norwegian traditions.
and how we
abroad.
revitalized Norwegian traditions in a fashion context. So it was really, really cool to, first they published this book and then they gave us the medal. And the medal was actually given to us in this wonderful gala dinner where everybody was dressed in their very amazing folk costume. And the Queen of Norway, who was the high patron, was there as well. And we were very humbled by the fact that because we were receiving the medal on that evening, we were able to sit at her table and had spent 3 wonderful hours with the Queen talking about arts and crafts and actually learning a lot from her because she used to study in Switzerland and she has a background in sewing as well. So it was pretty amazing.
And she's a good knitter.
And she's a great knitter. So anyway, this is a little bit about this book. If you're interested in it, you have to contact the Norwegian Arts and Crafts Association. However, if too many people become interested and put it in the comments, we will try to get it and sell it through our own website because we're opening a web shop, so it should be possible. So let us know if you're interested and we will see if we can get it for you. Yeah, this is really fun going down memory lane. I have a lot of emotion right now, a lot of memories, a lot of things to think back to. We've actually had an amazing career and we are very, very grateful for every day that we are allowed to do what we love to do the most. So we'd like to give you all a big thanks for supporting our channel because that is also enabling us to do what we love every single day. So remember to subscribe if you like what you see. Remember to give us a big thumbs up if you like the video that you've just seen. And the most important thing nowadays is that if you really want to follow up on what we do and be 100% updated, you need to go to our website at arnecarlos.com and subscribe to our newsletter. You will be able to do that by filling in your email address in the opt-in box that you see there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, Arne, let's look at the book a little bit more and let's reminisce a little bit more about those good old days.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.